Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2024 Ford Bronco in the Big Bend trim. Now the Big Bend is for 2024 the lowest trim. Now this one does have a lot of ads, over $13,000 worth of options. And I'll have the window sticker at the end of the video and try to point out some of the add-ons. Also, I'll have a buyer's guide, a detailed outline of all the trims, all the features that are added in the trims, and the optional packages with pricing, optional colors, and all that stuff in the description if you want to check it out. This vehicle sitting on 315/70 Goodyear tires wrapped around 17-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Hot Pepper Red Metallic Tint Clear Coat. So that's the name of the color, but it looks very impressive, especially when the sun is shining on it. It is a very impressive color. Hopefully you'll see throughout the video what it looks like, but yeah, in person probably more impressive. So I drove the Wild Track trim a few years ago, and so they haven't really, other than just additional colors and different packages and stuff, they hadn't really made any additional like major changes or anything to the Bronco. It does have the LED headlights, which I did a full night video, so you can check it out. It has those halos and the amber turn signals, projector fog lights here with a reflector headlight, active grille shutters here on the front. There's also the two recovery hooks here in the front as well. Now it has these places where you can tie down stuff. There's also accessory places here and here, so you can attach different accessories made for the Bronco. Looking at the profile, with it being a four-door, it doesn't look overly long. It still maintains that boxy shape that the Bronco has, and it looks really nice. Now all the black here is a flat black. There's no gloss black or anything like that. Fender flares, handle, side mirror, the hardtop, the pillars there and all that stuff, it's all a matte black. This is what the key looks like, and it just looks like a regular Ford key. I wish it had like some kind of like Bronco. I know it has the Bronco name, but like the actual Bronco horse on there would be pretty cool. But it's just a regular Ford key. It does have the remote start, panic button, lock, unlock. So yeah, it's a very functional proximity key, and it's designed where it has the sensor here on the back of the handle to unlock, and then you just put your finger over the sensor here to lock it. There's also a physical key location as well. Taking a look at the inside of the door, most of it's a hard touch surface. It's designed to be able to clean very easily. This is soft, very soft actually right here, but everything is just a hard touch surface. The handle extends here under there, under the bottom, so you can't really use that as a pocket. This is the only pocket here, and it's elastic, so whatever you put in there is going to be held in place and not going to bounce around so much when you're going off on trails, bumpy roads, that kind of stuff. This is kind of like a textured material, but once again, it's made to easily, basically hose off or wipe down very easily. Floorboard, same thing. It has that very durable plastic floorboard, and it has the rubber mats that snap in place, but you can see even under that is the hard plastic, and it also has a drain, so literally you can hose it out and completely, drain the vehicle if you hose it out, clean it, scrub it, all that kind of stuff. Now they have these vinyl seats. At first glance, it kind of looks like a microfiber cloth, but it's actually a very smooth and comfortable vinyl. It doesn't look like a cheap seat at all. Very comfortable, soft. And there's the Bronco embossed in the back of the seat. But yeah, and once again, these are easily wiped down, clean, and all that stuff as well. Manually adjusted seats here on the passenger side. There's a handle here, and it's kind of like a grippy handle and help you get in and out of the vehicle. This is all a smooth plastic, hard touch. There's a handle here. Once again, it has like a grippy texture. Lockable glove compartment, pretty good size, smooth plastic on the inside as well. I like the way it has this little shelf right here. This is a hard plastic here at the top, and there's spaces here on the dash to kind of set some stuff down, gloves or whatever. Quick access spots there. It is a smooth plastic, so whatever you put up there is going to slide around if you start driving with that stuff up there, especially if you put like glasses or something. So the hardtop is completely removable, and you can see it has this like a felt line here on the underside of it, and you can remove the top pieces here like T-tops, and then the larger portions there in the back, and completely go topless if you want. And it has the roll bars completely encased in the vehicle, and the speakers are enclosed in the roll bar. So once you take the top off, you still have the sound system, which sounds really good. So you can see the height of the vehicle right here. It's kind of high up. This one has the Sasquatch package, so it gives it that additional lift. And entering and exiting is fine for me. I mean, it's really good. I kind of fall out when I get out, and you know, kind of a little bit of a climb in there, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't have any kind of side steps. Some people might need a side step or something, but in my case, it's no problem. The inside of the back door, smooth plastic once again. This is soft here, but yeah, it's just basic, real basic door. And you notice that the power switch, window switches are not in the door because the doors are removable. So they want to have less electronics in the door as possible, and the switches, I'll show you that in a second. So back seats here, in the four-door, you have like a bench seat, so you have a center position if you need it. There's an armrest here with cup holders. You can flip that up. Now the seats recline slightly, but not like super reclining seats. They do fold down, and they do have the latch system for car seats. Just right in here is where the latch system is, right in that little crevice there. But yeah, it's an interesting vinyl type material. See, there's some space underneath the floor. There's a very significant hump though. And then you have the accessories with MOLLE webbing that you can attach to this little spot there. And then there's a net pocket here. And then there's little bag holders here. And this is all hard touch surface. There's USB. This is where the power window switches are, here, and then there is USBs, USB-A, USB-C. There's also a 400 volt power inverter here, three prong. I like the way they felt lined the interior roof to keep down on the echo, because there's a little bit of an echo going on in the vehicle with all the hard plastics. So that helps out a little bit. There's a manual child safety lock, so you can see it's right in here. You can use the physical key to turn it, but it's manual on each door here in the back. So if you want one side like locked and the other side not, you can do that. Take a look at the back of the vehicle. It has the hardtop there. Third brake light is at the top of the tire, right in here, and you see the privacy glass. It has a rear wiper kind of hidden back here with a washer as well. Full-size spare tire, completely full-size spare tire with a backup camera here in the very center, which is basically about perfect, I guess, because you can see behind the vehicle. It's in the very center position, and I guess if you had a trailer hitch, you should be able to get a good idea of where you're hooking up, but it's kind of behind the vehicle, kind of good ways, you know, so I guess you could probably see right where you back up. Does have a recovery hook back here, parking sensors. The exhaust is well hidden. Okay, so when you open this up, it does have the ability to lock here and then unlock with the handle. So even on the tailgate, it has that passive entry system. So opening this up, just pull this, and it has a door closer. It basically stays wherever you leave it. So you kind of have to push it out really hard, and it goes out quite a ways. So right there is the furthest extent there that it'll go. Gets completely out of the way when you need it. But if you just want a normal position like that, you just put it there, and it'll basically stay there, and it handles the wind well and all that stuff, so it's pretty good. And so here's a little accessory place right here that Ford sells, different accessories that attaches here. Put like a little tray and all kinds of different stuff. The bumper is completely covered up, so you can step on that, and you know, once again, very easily cleaned area here at the surface. This lifts up out of your way, and this is the cargo area. 12 volt power supply here, little light, subwoofer. You can see the roll bars here, and body colored roll bars. You can see the color is on the outside, so when you take the top off, you can see them looking pretty good. There's some tie downs here, and I like the way that has a little cowboy lasso on each one. Here, all four corners basically. And this is a smooth material plastic, but they put a rubber grip on the surface on the bottom here, which is great. When I first saw it, I was like, uh-oh, I'm gonna put stuff back here and it's gonna slide all over the place as I'm driving. Actually, it's quite grippy, and it does a good job of keeping things from sliding around. So I really like that. So under here is the tools for the spare tire. There's also a little funnel here since it's a Capless designed vehicle, and a little bit of storage space here. You can put some stuff if you want. All right, so there's a little storage compartment here, and smooth plastic on the inside, so stuff will slide around in it. But you see this little connector here, and this little, both this and this. That's for these wires. So you can take this wire harness and this little hose right here for the washer, and you can connect the harness here. You just plug it in, it stays there. It's not plugging into anything, it's just a place to put it. And then there's a little place to put that hose out of your way, and it secures it while your top is off basically. There's a little place for an accessory here. Extends here on the other side. You can see there's some places to attach things here. Okay, so it's a 60-40 split you can add to your cargo space, but you notice that right in here, it's not completely level with the cargo area, so it's going to be hard to, you would have to elevate something here. If you want to sleep back here, you would have to build this side up or something like that to make it a little bit more comfortable. I wish it was completely flat, because that would make an ideal, you know, off-road, and then, you know, you lay down and sleep in it and stuff like that. But as it is, you're going to have to make some adjustments apparently. Now, they did a good job of trying to get that seat to go down, because you can see the seat actually goes down into the floorboard. So they're trying to make it low as they can. So you can see there's the position, and as you move this down, it goes down. So they're trying to make it lower, but you know, as it is, it's just a little bit off. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's capless. And even though it is a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, it says you can still use 87, just regular fuel, regular unleaded. Now, me personally, I'd probably put premium in it because of the 4-cylinder boosted engine, but that's what I recommend. It has this little Easter egg right here, looking pretty neat. Now, it starts up just like any other, you know, vehicle with a push button start. Just hold the brake and press this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat, and there's the accelerator, brake pedal, and a footrest there. Pretty good size footrest. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the left of center, and you can actually see it because it's yellow. Just move it to the left and lift up on the hood. Now, it's not a very heavy hood. It's probably aluminum, but it does require a prop to hold it up. Here's the prop here, and it swings up right to where that arrow's pointing. So it looks like this one has been taken off-road quite a bit, that's what it's designed for. So there's the battery. It's easy to get to. It's insulated. There's insulated firewall. There's some air intake here in this high position. And there's the 4-cylinder. Turbocharger here on this side. So powering this vehicle is a 2.3 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine turbocharged, putting out 300 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. Now, you can get this vehicle with a 7-speed manual transmission. This one is in a 10-speed automatic, and it goes 0 to 60 in about 7.1 seconds. Now, it does have the blind spot detection system indicator there on the side mirror, and the driver's side doors just like the other side, except for, well, there's no other additional button, so it's the same exact thing. Manually adjusted seat here for the driver, but it does have this turn right here for the lumbar adjustment. So as I turn that, you can see the center of the seat moves in and out. So yeah, manually adjusted seats. And to the left of the steering column, there's the electronic parking brake here. And then here is the headlight switch. So you can turn them off, all the exterior lights, parking, headlights automatic, and then headlights on. Center button here is for the fog light. And I have a night video if you want to check it out. I show everything at night, including going down the road and stuff, headlights and all that. And then the dimmer switch for the interior gauges is here. There's also a telescoping steering column that lock in place here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to show you the potential legroom here. And it's looking really good. Lots of room. I actually have to lift it up a little bit with a height adjustment here. It's a manual height adjustment, so you just kind of lift it up, push it down when you want to go down. But yeah, it seems to sink a little bit too low for me because I really need to have the view to look over the hood and all that stuff. But yeah, it's pretty comfortable seats. It's pretty interesting that they are marine grade vinyl. So it's like a waterproof vinyl. And there's a lot of things that are waterproof in this vehicle, and I'll kind of point those out as we go around. First of all, the steering wheel is very comfortable. It's soft, it's leather wrapped, feels good. Ford always does a good job usually with their steering wheels. And it's pretty basic. Like, there's not a lot of, you know, thrills here. We have some gray, and then we have some black, you know. It does have the Bronco there in the middle, which looks pretty cool. But right here, all these buttons are enclosed with like this cover, like this rubber cover over top of the buttons to protect them from water. So apparently you can have the top off and drive in the rain, apparently, the way that this is designed. So the cruise control over here is pretty straightforward. It doesn't have the adaptive cruise control, just regular cruise control and a lane departure warning system, basically. And then the volume for the radios here. Here on the right side, you do have the ability to change through the tracks, answer and hang up for your phone, which is paired to the Bluetooth system. Voice recognition is here as well. Now you have an up and down back like a little menu button right here as well. I'll get to that in a second. So the turn signal is also the windshield wiper control there as well. And the rear wipers are controlled on this inner portion, and then the outer portion is the front windshield wipers. And then you press in here for the washer. Now if the windshield wipers are turned on and you put it in reverse, it'll automatically turn on the rear wiper. Okay, so the gauge here is basically very simple looking. You have the speedometer, digital speedometer here, and then the engine coolant temperature, and most things are on this little screen right here. So the fuel gauge is on this little screen, and you can have some different information. Right now it's showing which direction the vehicle's facing, the outside temperature, stuff like that, what gear you're in here at the bottom. So it's not overly complex, the screen. So using these buttons over here, we can change what we want to see if we need to. So this is kind of like a menu button. We can also scroll up and down and hit OK, and there's a back button here. Let's just go ahead and scroll up and down. So you can see there's additional information that kind of pops up here. We were in this COM screen, which basically shows nothing. When you scroll down, these are customizable, by the way. Fuel economy, trip. This is showing the angle of the steering and the pitch and roll. So as I turn the steering wheel, this little number right there is going to show the degrees in which the wheels are turned, and then whether you're nose diving or going uphill, up and downhill, and then the angle left and right. So off-roading, this is handy to keep an eye on in certain times. Scrolling down again is another angle of just the pitch and roll, to look at like a smaller view, more compact. Power distribution, showing you the status of the four-wheel drive system. So if you're just in two-wheel drive, it's just going to show the rear wheels. Going down again, tire pressure, and then you can configure this view. For some reason, there's only a certain amount you can have. So you just check mark the ones you want, and then once you reach a certain point, then it won't allow you to add more. I'm not sure why. But you can see the COM screen, fuel economy. So all the ones that I've showed you are the ones that are checked. But you can see there's additional ones here as well, like seat belts, oil temperature, turbo boost, that kind of stuff, battery voltage. You can keep an eye on whatever you want to keep an eye on by selecting those. Now if you hit this menu button here, it's going to pop up here. And what we've been looking at is my view. But we can focus on different things. So if we want to go into trip and fuel, we can hit that and get different fuel economy. You can see what the status of the trip 1, trip 2, average speed, and the status of the auto start. Go to fuel economy so you can see that. So it's kind of another roundabout way of getting to other things. but my view is the one that's most convenient because you can set it up the way you want, and then you can scroll through and get the information that you want when you need it, basically. So I usually keep it on trip like that. So I can keep it on the miles per gallon, the miles driven, and the time. Alright, I like the way the start button here kind of looks like the headlights in a way. Has that style. Very stylish and functional design of the vehicle. So like these little vents have like a little rubber feel to them, texture to them when you move them. They have a cool kind of off-road style. These handles have a rubber texture. And up here is all enclosed with a, once again, rubber, like a cover over these buttons. So there's this little storage pocket right there. There's storage pockets here on the dash. And so this will be the front locking differential, the rear locking differential, a off-road turn assist switch there. This like engages the brake in the rear right or left. So if you really need to make a really sharp off-road turn, you can engage this. Traction control, you can turn it off. It's default on, so if you need to turn it off, if you need to spin tires or whatever, you can do that. And then four-way flashers are there. And once again, it's all enclosed, so there's no rain can get in there. It's very sealed up. And I'm sure that it doesn't look like this screen is sealed, but I'm sure behind all this plastic cover, there's some kind of sealing going on the way the rest of the vehicle is designed. Okay, so this screen right here, it has these different icons here at the bottom. And let's go here to the audio. You can change the sources here. AM, FM, satellite radio, Bluetooth audio. There's also wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. There's different phone connections here. Navigation. We can do searches here. Has a full keyboard on the screen. Different apps can be selected here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is right there. Then you have your different settings. Quite a bit of settings in here, and they kind of like go through a menus. The whole, separation of, you click on one and there's more and more and more, basically. You have display, that kind of stuff. There's vehicle. Then you have features, driver assistance. Turn different things off here. This little side screen right here, you can scroll through it, get different information that you want. Some of it's very similar to the information that we have here. Now, if you're in the navigation map and you want that side to go away, you could just hit that and it makes that go away so you can focus on the map. So that's kind of a quick rundown of what the screen's all about. It does have the outside temperature, digital clock there, stuff like that. But it's fairly straightforward, easy to use system. Here's the volume for the radio, tune through the tracks. You can also change through tracks depending on what you're playing. So if you're tuning on the radio, you can do that. You can change to the next song on a list if you're playing off a device. Play and pause here as well. The idle stop, you can turn it off here. You can see it's off now. That's the off light. It has dual zone climate control. Driver, passenger, temperatures are there. And then where you want the air to blow, fan speed. So when we press that, it pops up here on the screen so you can give you an idea of what's going on. Recirculate the air. I like the way it has like a little Bronco shape to the recirculate the air button. Heated seats is 3-stage, high, medium, and low, and off for the driver and passenger. There's the fan speed, rear defroster, front defroster. When you turn on the rear defroster, it also turns on the heated side mirrors as well. So there is some USB ports down here. You notice it has a nice robust cover. USB-A, USB-C. This compartment is rubberized, and there's a little spot for water to drain out. So if we take this out, it shows you this little indicator that water can drain out this hole, and then there's a little hole there for it to actually exit the vehicle. There's a rubberized handle here, and it has this little plate saying that the vehicle is designed and manufactured in Michigan. So here's the shifter. It's got a little American flag, Bronco, looking nice. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. And when you put it in reverse, two things will happen. The parking sensors will active, and then be active, and then the screen here will pop up. The screen itself is huge, okay? But then you have the clarity, actually, of the camera, which is actually pretty good. You can see some detail. I wish it was a little bit more stretched, like a little bit wide, so we can see left and right. But it does have the rear cross traffic alert for that. But still, you know, be nice to have a different view. This one doesn't have the 360 camera system. You'd have to get a higher trim for that. It does have the active guidelines, so as I turn the steering wheel, those little lines will move as well. But yeah, I really like the size and clarity and resolution is pretty good, especially up close of things behind you. There's neutral, drive, and then you can manually change the gears if you like. And then you can press this button right here to change and limit your high gear. And it'll show you what gear you're in here. So we're in manual 1, manual 2. That's as high as it'll go right now. There's some cup holders here. There's rubber on the bottom. Okay, so this is the drive modes basically. So as I turn this, you have normal, eco, sport, slippery, mud ruts, sand, and that's it. So let's go back to normal. And there's normal. There's also four-wheel drive controls here. So you have two-wheel drive high, four-wheel drive low, and four-wheel drive automatic. So if you're just kind of cruising on just a regular trail or something, four-wheel drive automatic could be pretty good, because that way you don't really have to focus on, if you're not really in super bad conditions, you know, the four-wheel drive automatic should be fine for most just trails, just kind of cruise along, and you're not, you know, like doing severe rock climbing or deep mud or anything like that. So this is where the power window switches are. Remember, they were not in the door, and they're all automatic, one touch. So good. It's raining right now, but I'll go ahead and roll this window down so you can see how fast it goes. Oh yeah. Then you can lock the windows here, and then this is how you adjust the side mirrors. You just pick a side and then adjust it with this little pad right here. You notice this is all encased in that rubber protective material as well. These are kind of angled down, so there's not going to be any water, too much water puddling up in here. This is a very soft armrest, kind of rubbery soft and comfortable, and it has that same material that you find on the seats. And when you lift it up, it kind of slats back down a little bit, but once you get it to a certain point, it stays in place. There's a little storage compartment here, and there's a place for wires to go in and out of this compartment because it has a 12-volt power supply. Now, I put my business cards down at the bottom so you can see, because it's kind of just a black abyss without something down there to look at. It just has a felt liner down there that's removable, but I would change that with a lighter color one so you can see in there a little bit better, because there's no light or anything. Okay, so it does have auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor. So right in here there is some lights. So you have that light, all the interior lights, this side only. You can also have it with when the door opens up, turns on the lights like that, or if you press this button right here, it'll turn that feature off. There's also these little lights right here that do a really good job of just illuminating the center area right here at nighttime, so you can kind of see what's going on. I do have a night video of a different trim of the Bronco. It's very similar though, if you want to check it out. And then there's a place to put your safety glasses, sunglasses, or whatever you want in here. And it feels like a soft plastic. It's kind of interesting. I can understand why they don't put like a felt in this particular compartment, because it could potentially get wet or whatever. Okay, so these panels up here. So it is a complete hardtop, and you can remove sections at a time. So it's like T-tops up here, where you unlatch this, turn these latches, and you can remove these front two sections, and then leave the rest in place if you like. Or you can continue and do this center section here. Or you can continue and take off the back part as well. So yeah, pretty cool that you can take these off and then drive in the rain, having it all sealed up like this. And then there's drains in the floor. So like I showed you before, if you need to, you know, drain any water that gets in the vehicle, you can actually hose it out and stuff. That's pretty interesting. So the visor has that same vinyl type material, smooth, and feels really good. A little clip there, mirror, lights. It also extends out here into pretty decent coverage, but there's a space right here. It doesn't help, but it's not too bad. It's pretty good size. Looking at the visibility there in the back, there's lots of glass, lots of windows to look out. So directly behind the vehicle, if the headrest's getting a little bit in the way, but it's really not too bad. You know, it depends on how much cargo space and all that stuff you pile up in here. Like cargo and passengers and all that stuff back here. But as it is right now, it's not really that bad. You can see over your shoulder fine, out the rear view mirror fine. If it had a rear view camera, it would be actually better, but as it is. And actually, this vehicle, since it's an off-road focused vehicle, I would definitely recommend they were at least have the 360 camera system, or the ability to look around the vehicle with the cameras. Because, you know, this is available in the higher trims, but if all of them had it, it would be better. Or at least, you know, you can add it as a package or something. Because that does, if you're actually off-roading and being able to see all the way around the vehicle, right up to the wheels and everything, that would be ideal. The thing that stands out when I drive a Bronco is that it feels like a primarily off-road vehicle. So it doesn't have the feel of like a highway vehicle that's comfortable at high speeds and all that stuff and solid. This feels like it just wants to go. It just wants to go in the nearest field. It just has that feel to it. No, it's fine and stable on the road and the highway and all that stuff. But it just feels like, especially this one with the off-road, you know, packages that they added to it, it just has that off-road vehicle feel. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It has a wide track, and it is, you can hear the off-road tires on the road and everything, and you know, it just feels like it's basically designed primarily for the off-road experience. And I mean, it is nice to drive on the highway and everything. I mean, it stays pretty straight, doesn't wander too much, but yeah, that's the thing that struck me the first time I drove the Bronco, the full-size Bronco, not the Bronco Sport. Bronco Sport is more for like a regular SUV, drive on the highway, roads and stuff like that. This one is like, it is, and just can't wait to get on the trails or a field, or, you know, climbing up some mountain somewhere. It just has that feel to it, like you're driving a four-wheeler on the road, that kind of thing. It's interesting that they put a 4-cylinder EcoBoost in this vehicle. I mean, it feels fine in normal RPM range, you know, that you drive, you know, like this. It feels pretty strong, you know. It feels like it has enough power and to accelerate, merge, and all that stuff. But there is times in which you really accelerate, like you really push the accelerator to the floor. You can really tell where the diminishing returns there are, as far as a 4-cylinder in this large, heavier vehicle. But just normal driving, you wouldn't really, doesn't feel like a weak vehicle. It's only when you really floor it and you go past those RPM ranges that are suitable for this engine and everything, then it feels like it's, you know, a little bit lacking. But, and also the fact that it has a small engine and the fuel economy is not all that great. Now, you know, like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem, it seems like a vehicle that needs a V6 basically, you know, or higher. So, you know, a 4-cylinder in a large vehicle like this, we're getting, so I've been getting 18 miles per gallon, but yeah, it's just an interesting choice nowadays that they're putting 4-cylinders in pretty much everything. And I can understand why. I mean, you can get a lot of horsepower and torque and everything out of a 4-cylinder now. So, but you know, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't, it feels like this vehicle needs at least a V6. But that's just my perception anyway.